this etheric moss out and about, enjoying this Aries season, this birth for Mercury and the equinox and all of that take place. We're just getting familiar with the energies from the past, the present, and what to expect via our emotions and our emotions cycling through the different aspects and what to expect when expecting, because we know we have the full moon in full moon in Libra, giving birth and pushing out. So without further ado, we are cycling from, we are in the third decan of the moon in Leo, but we are cycling out of the moon in Cancer, soon to go into that sextile fulfillment of an opportunity. Although these energies aren't aspecting each other in any planetary alignments. And by aspects, I mean angles, how they benefit, how they don't benefit, the influence that they have on each other. So when the moon was in Cancer, we were on the cusp of Pisces to initiating that energy of Aries in the third decan, in that fog where you see the light in the tunnel and you hear the alarm going off, you see the lights, you hear the birds, the sounds of spring, the calling, the luring images of getting you out of bed and journeying and initiating your dreams and imaginations from the worlds that you were in and the worlds that you were sharing with yourself and others and other people's worlds and expectations or ambitions, what have you, because it's Pisces, it's dreamy. You can make it as realistic in your dream as you want to, as boring or simple or plain. It's still your imagination, it's still fluid, it still has that dignitary, right? So with the moon setting there, we were setting our energy into motion about our home, our private life, our comfort. And it's simple for me at least, to get some of these actions mixed up, because you can be looking into the world that you are in via the lunar or the moon transit and be like, okay, this is what I'm personally, my Merkaba, my energy is flowing with, and still miss that space of, oh shit, the sun, the action, the way that I'm doing it, the way I'm carrying it out is in a creative way or in a delusional way, or like you're in your own dreamland. It's still reality. So you're initiating your way of caring and feeling about your home and your private life and where you are sheltered and what you are nurturing and what you're mothering and coddling. If you weren't careful, you can see this energy playing out as certain situations that you were coddling, but the reality of it was, because Mercury was in Aries, and the sun was soon to conjoin Mercury with your actions and the way you're going to be expressing that, or the way others are going to be expressing that to you, causing that transformation, or whatever house you have Aries in your natal alignment chart. So we had that with those trine energies, the gift, and with gifts you can go too far. You can be under appreciative, or you can be over appreciative and give back, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's something extremely personal. Like, not all gifts can be extremely personal. It might be a gift with a manipulation or an expectation of, like, say someone gives you a microphone, they have ambitions for you, and that could be taken as for your personal, or for something that they can gain by being in that relationship, relating, utilizing that intuition, utilizing the dreams, whereas you are participating within said dreams and imaginations, right? So that's where those gifts come into play. And with that, with the Cancerian energy being at home, and the moon and Luna and things of that nature, You know, it's very comfortable. You want to be in your comfort zone as far as your dreams, imaginations, and delusions. So if you are participating in an area where you innately have that gift, and you can want to be overly comfortable because it's Saturn in Pisces. You know what I'm saying? So restrictions and boundaries are placed there for you to be responsible for your dreams, imaginations, and delusions. And so that might not be comfortable. And then you have Venus exalted there. So the way you're compromising and relating, you might can go too far with relating your dreams and imaginations with others that don't share your ideals and your visions, but that's okay. But you don't want to drown in each other's waters and lose sight of your own dreams and imaginations, right? And I keep going back to delusions because delusions are safe, but disillusionments aren't always the safe space, because you take someone out of a illusion, you wake them up in the middle of a lucid dream, things could go haywire because the world, the gap, the bridge between reality and your dreams, imaginations, and delusions is being crossed. You know what I'm saying? So, excuse me. So that coddling energy, like I said, be careful of that, or be careful of how you are now reacting to that energy, because it plays a part being from the past, right? So the moon was squaring, like I said, the moon was squaring Mercury. So the water signs have that gift, but the cardinal signs and where that energy is being placed as far as reacting with your actions versus your intuition. You can express an intuitive state of mind, independency, Aries coming across like that, or thinking like real fast, thinking like Mercury like, but with Mars and Aries thinking real fast on your feet and real flighty. But the moon wanting to be in a comfortable space there, wanting to be in that Cancerian nature. You are learning that learning block, that 90-degree angle of expressing that coddling energy, putting a little bit of fire and energy behind it and driving it, and expressing how your expectation that you have, despite this relationship that you might have with this individual on a one-on-one close proximity basis, right? With the Sun and Pisces and Saturn and Neptune and Venus and that exaltation, right? And like I like to say, being neighborly with Mercury and Pisces, that energy is right there, are like not oversharing too much with your neighbor, but at the same time not being out of the loop, because it's your neighborhood, it's your third house, it's your environment, it's things you can, like your senses that you can touch, relating to ideas and things of that nature, right? So we have the moon squaring the south node and the north node in this equinox season, so we're going to be seeing transformations with the eclipse season and transformations in Mercury there and Venus, you know, getting close to those aspects, right? So squaring that energy, learning how to not be so diplomatic with your emotions and feelings and what you're comfortable with, because you got two sides of your comfortable. You got the yin of the internal natures, and then you got the yang of the yang natures. So these are conflicting on both polarities. So I say ascending those polarities and that spectrum is something that I'd be giving grace to during this time. And it's just a lot of the dreams, imaginations, and delusions. Oh, we got Aquarius here. So moon and Cancer was in conjunction or having a misunderstanding or being like missing the point of caring for humanity, and whether you're going to be hands-on or overly extremely hands-off, based off your comfort zone, based off something in private, based off of associating yourself with technology, something new, unique, and original, and having to separate to see that, having a separate private traditional nature via the collective, via the space, via the partnerships, and things of that fucking nature, for real, with Aquarius there. So when the moon transited into Leo, with Mars, Mercury in Aquarius, when the moon transited into Leo, we were presently excited and all giddy to react and respond to people's creativity, people's egos, and their, not specifically their egos, but their way of creatively drawing attention to themselves by way of being creative, being imaginative, putting a singular light, a spotlight, not necessarily disco lights, which, you know, Pisces would love to do, put disco lights on everything, but putting that one limelight on your dreams, imaginations, and delusions, and expressing that and being fixed on an individual's own way or own performance of a stage via the emotions, because your emotions are on display, and being aware that, hey, the moon, Mars and Mars and just simply put Mars and Pluto in Aquarius, some collective might have collective criticism. You know what I'm saying? How strong are you as an individual via the networking and rubbing shoulders and detaching from certain energies when you need to detach from them, via conflicts and passion behind networking and connecting and what is for humanity, and detaching your emotions and how you're receiving attention for this new AI device or technology to receive attention, because you know Leo not necessarily likes to share the spotlight. So with the technology getting some of that spotlight right there, it's not understanding that you don't have to put your heart on your sleeve so much on that personal level. You can let some of that AI technology do some of these jobs and connect you and network you in these manners, and it's not like your reputation or your status is going to be in jeopardy because you are associated with certain energies, or because you're getting certain negative criticism, or because you're not like a lion performing in a circus of people that are just being entertained and things of that nature. People are wanting to get unique and original ideas and feel inspired and to aspire to go against the grain and the cut of certain situations. And when you got when you have Moon and Leo trining the North Node and Chiron, this is like when Sagittarius was there, feeling your philosophies and your meanings and reasonings having that gusto to be expressed in a new area or terrain, and we all embarking on that journey. We all together collectively don't know where we are going, but we're going in that direction, and then you can see that potential mistake as something you will want to avoid in your teaching. But that's when Sagittarius was experiencing that energy, not wanting to avoid that, but wanting to take an alternative route when you're already lost in the woods. Like, how much more lost could you get? But Leo is saying, hey, well, this is my creativity, and it's going to own up more to its flaws and its perks, you know what I'm saying? And not transform it, but utilize the opposition of Aquarius and gather the pieces together of what chips is on the shoulder, what chips is on the sleeve that people can see, that stands out, and expand on that. And like, you don't have to be alone. We can make this together, as long as I'm getting the attention for it. Like, as long as I'm getting the accountability, as long as like I'm still responsible, because Leo ain't gonna shun away from that responsibility unless it's like some narcissistic Leo. Then in that case, they're shunned away from that responsibility and things of that nature. So that's where we have that with the North Node and Chiron, and still with the Saturnian, Neptunian, and Venetian energies, all compromising and relating your sense of responsibility and structure for your, not necessarily home, lunar transits of the moon, what we see relative, but to the cosmic collective love. Because I like to use the analogy when you see in Perseus or whatever, that, you know, they got the creatures of the Black Lagoon type creatures down there in the deep blue sea of the Neptunian energy. You got the Cyclopses, you got the Sirens, all working on their desires, and it's always a community. So it's not like just their own desires, it's related desires for people, places, and things, and the love. But it's so much of a love that comes almost scorpionic, like an obsession. But it's like they're always involved in some situation where the creativity, like the Little Mermaid, is seeing the masculine thought forms of man on land and wanting to be curious and then to conform and relate, and that love is going to be drawn out of them, but they're still like not trustworthy because they're still in the deep dark depths of their emotions and relatability. So then, you know, sorry, being long-winded, I ain't took a break. So then, you know, that's going to transition to Virgo. We're going to be worried about our baby, our creativity, our imagination, our soul attention, and the clout or the energy, because energy can be received as attention, and where your attention goes, your intention flows, or one of those concepts, right? So in that space of Virgo, And the Virgo is opposing, so that's the full lunar transit birth, because Virgo is opposing Pisces. These are oppositions. These are 180-degree angles from each other. So, well, actually, we're not even in Pisces season. We're in Aries season now. So, worrying about your individuality and being overly critical with yourself and others, and relating your sense of identity, your sense of independence, making something make sense, going out and being able to express that vision and make that vision make sense, because it's backed and supported by something practical via your emotions, via a virgin-like energy, because Lilith is in Virgo. I've been using the analogy that Lilith and Virgo and the moon and Virgo together is like emotionally, you have your one side and you have the opposite side. So these two are coming together as far as feeling peer pressured to have itself make sense as regards to its practical structure and fluidity, but not to be so washed up into its mud that when someone gets in there, they leave a foundation, right? Like a footprint in the sand, you know what I'm saying? Like a dry, like the dryness when you step in mud and it dries and hard like that, but not so much to where there's no nutrients coming out of it. It's nothing impressionable. You just let people walk all over you because you're overcritical of yourself, and then balancing being overcritical of other people's places, ideas, imaginations, and delusions, and how far people are going with their responsibility, and if they're actually upholding their responsibility. Like, that's not your motherfucking job. That's Saturn's job right there, doing that. And Venus being in the exalted position, opposing the moon in Virgo, it's gonna be like, take your own advice. You know what I'm saying? With the moon and Lilith. And why, like, take your own advice, do your journaling, do your shadow work, you know what I'm saying? Do your podcast and things of that nature. And like even now, out in public, this video quality live isn't perfect. Me not having my shirt on is kind of like, it's a public space, but I'm not that confident. I go to the gym, but it's like, hold on one second, look at her, y'all. Her eyes was closed. But for real, so that's Moon conjoining Lilith and Virgo, opposing Pisces, Venus, Neptune, and Saturn. And then you got Aquarius. So this is also a Virgo, Libra. This is in conjunction as well on the opposite end, because it's misunderstanding humanity and technology and servicing others, but technology ain't gonna always make sense in that manner. As far as working with the collective, there's always gonna be too many broad ideas, too many broad perspectives, and unique rebelliousness or revolutionizing for Virgo to want to step out there, to be vulnerable, to unshield herself. And it's like, do you want to have a baby in the middle of a pandemic? No. So that's what the Virgin Virgo Moon and Lilith is speaking on, for real, in those feelings. And misunderstanding Aries in the North Node Chiron, your mistakes, and you're expressing your vision and using like your mistakes, but like you're seeing too much of the detail. You're seeing like the whole picture, but you're focusing on that chironic mistake in that corner, for real. And trying to make sense of everything instead of just going and being independent and relating your security and your sense. So it's like to a fault type energy. With Mars and Pluto there, like I said, with Virgo, trying to make sense, but misunderstanding all the transformation and power, and being passionate and expressing yourself passionately, going for it with yourself and others, and including others, and bringing others in on your plans. And you have your one plan, and being insecure that your plan will not stand up to the light or the microscope or the water emotions flooding, that structure with, Mars and Aquarius and that energy right there. So that, and how it all wraps up in the past, present, and future is, being comfortable with your dreams and imaginations enough to express them as a new vision, as breaking ground, as a seed that's popping up, being vulnerable, being aware of its new spaces around us. It's okay to not have a name title for these things and to be, you know, want to coddle and be in your comfort zone. It's okay to let it be expressed so someone else can, like, not butter you up, but motivate you and inspire you, right? And because that's going to motivate you to creatively express your new identity and your talents and your gift and what you're setting on stage, and not just being that spark, but doing it in the form of, okay, this is a whole stage, this is a whole cinema movie, but this is just the spark of it. There's more to go on. There's more with that sextile to Aquarius, Mars, Aquarius, Pluto, and things of that nature. Before we go into retrograde and reanalyzing these things, in the present we have this gift. This the present. This is the gift. Before we don't worry too much about the future. We worry about the future when we are there, and when we even are there, we're not worrying about it. We're making sense out of how to keep our creative energy going. How to critique and tweak a little bit the analytics, the papers, the details, the people, places, and the things, and the ideas that are being added as we are voluntarily, like, don't get fucked up, we are voluntarily relating our identity. We don't have to, you know what I'm saying? But Virgo not being too analytical with that thing, especially with Lilith, you know what I'm saying? Not feeling that pressure to reveal yourself, and that sexuality and that sexuality as far as mixing and mingling energies to create a new thing, to create a new byproduct, whether you're too hard on something or whether you're too light on something because you're holding back, and then you go back to critique yourself on that. So that's something that for you to watch out for as far as your inspiration and our North Node energies, and thinking real fast and light on our feet, as the ruling, you know what I'm saying, planet of Virgo is in Aries at the moment. So this was Moss, you know what I'm saying? This was Etheric Moss, you know what I'm saying? Thank you guys for tuning in, and catch you on the next one. Peace. Like, comment, subscribe, and share, and comment if you have any ideas or have any questions for astrology. Or I do readings as well. I do life path readings for your sun, moon, and ascendant. Check out my shorts. Or if you're raising the life path child 1 through 22, I got the tips and the tools on my shorts, and I love servicing y'all, and that's the energy that I'm bringing. I appreciate y'all. Peace.